people like Bill Gates, the United Nations, the Rockefeller Foundation that come into Africa and fund family planning programs that deliberately seek to reduce the population of African people. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. And I'm not against no homosexual or no lesbian. I love all African people, but I reserve the right to Africa and fund family.
This kind of
people like Bill Gates, the United Nations, the Rockefeller Foundation that come into Africa and fund family planning programs that deliberately seek to reduce the population of African people. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. And I'm not against no homosexual or no lesbian. I love all African people, but I reserve the right to disagree with any lifestyle that threatens the survival of the traditional African family. LGBTQ is the new birth control pill. Why do I say that? 2 men cannot reproduce. 2 women cannot reproduce. And now they're even transgenderizing our children. Do you know what that means? They're manipulating and indoctrinating African children to undergo sexual surgery so they'll never be able to reproduce again. When Dwayne Wade, whose son is now legally had his birth certificate changed, he's legally a girl.
Yeah.
Hormone therapy. When he gets 30 years old and looks in the mirror and says, you know what? I don't like living like this no more. I want to go back to being what God made me, a man. I want to get a wife and I want to have children. We only got one problem, don't we? Your reproductive is gone. We got another problem. Your testosteronic levels are gone. Your ability to produce healthy seed is gone. There is no going back. We are not looking at this LGBTQ thing the way we should be looking at it. It is birth control and racial extermination. Why you think Kamala Harris is traveling throughout Africa, trying to convince African countries to legalize gay marriage? Why does America care how Africa chooses to run its society? What do you care about marriage in Africa? Because if we can invade African culture to the point where we can manipulate African children into same-sex relationships or outright transgenderism, which is the extermination of your bloodline, we can start predicting the reduction of the African population. They'll never be able to get rid of all African people, but they can damn sure make a dent in our numbers. But more than that, they can disrupt the natural, traditional, healthy, cultural way that we live our lives, build our families, and run our societies. LGBTQ is one of the greatest weapons of white supremacy against the survival of African people.
All righty. So my question is, and I don't want to put this for me, it's not on blast. Y'all know how he roll. Do you believe the 1% is funding the LGBTQ movement specifically to lower the birth rates and population control? Jay Glass.
I think that's an arrogant thought. I'll be honest. Now there are a lot of conspiracy theories that I will give credit to. But I have to say this first off. The LGBTQIA plus idea has been propagated, unfortunately, and it has been used to manipulate a younger generation that didn't grow up in a very similar stance. As I'm a little long in the tooth now, right? I'm 45, and we spoke differently, and we interacted differently with that. But if a lot of the younger kids that see something online, then it's true, and that's who they're supposed to be, and that's who they're supposed to emulate. As a matter of fact, there's a study that came out not too long ago about Instagram being horribly vital to young girls because of how it actually interacts with them, and now they're trying to chase something that it's impossible to be. But I think that specifically thinking that the 1% is they're all going to a meeting and sitting down and coming up with the agenda to exterminate a continent of people all at once through this one mechanism, I think that's a bit of an arrogant thought. I think that now I do think that they are concerned more so with gaining power and more money, right? And they've got multiple different avenues that they're trying to do it in. And I'm not saying that this couldn't possibly be one. I just think that it's a little bit of a bridge too far for them to be wanting to do it. Now, the entertainment industry, I think, is a completely different conversation. I think that's a totally different conversation and that we could talk about and how it's promoted in that specific outlet. But the 1%, I'm not saying that they're not trying for population control, but they're doing it at a very different strategic level outside of sex and gender. That's my 2 cents on it.
I don't think it's I'm like you. I don't think they sitting in a room coming up with these ideas. I think the ideas present themselves, and it's just like, oh well, we can use that. Let's throw it at the wall and see if it stick. But like it just boils down to, like, I think it's all A/B test. Everything to me is just like A/B testing. It's just, let's throw this out here, see how they gravitate to it. I mean, COVID, you name it, it's all just A/B test. Like the original rollout of COVID, if it doesn't work, we roll it back. We pull it back. Yep. Because I mean, they came with bird flu. It was so many different things before COVID-19 that just didn't gain enough steam. But COVID-19, it worked. And now they know they can do it. Because once COVID came, my whole thing was, how they gonna pull this back? If everybody's scared to go outside, how do you convince them to go back outside? That was my thing. And they did it. They did it. Because I never missed a day of work during COVID outside of when I caught it. But that was towards the end. And but again, I was outside and people were scared to go outside. People were standing in line. If they'd have told you, if you jumped on one leg and touched your nose at the same time, they'd kill COVID. People would have been doing this shit. Like, I really feel like it's just an A/B test, just to see what they can get the people to do and what they can't.
Okay. What's up, Jamel? How you doing?
What's up, everybody? How everybody doing?
Yo,
Apology accepted.
I apologize. I mean, not apologize. I'm sorry. I had to work late. I had a busy day.
Well, I figured you was probably at work or something, but we are. Was you watching or did you hear what we were talking about?
Well, I already know.
Yeah. So, you had any thoughts on
Population
that?
control, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. One of the things is it's a couple different ways to me that it's been happening, because I was we talked about it and I was like, this is a good topic to talk about, because right now our mind focus on so much other stuff, we missing this one. Abortions, just the companies that handle the abortions themselves. In the 90s, when I was growing up, I remember going to school and they was talking about the average American family has 2.5 children, right? Right now, the average American family is around 1.4 children per household. And now, if you look at, this was before, then you got to remember the other thing, the pill, the Plan B pill. That helps do away with a lot of mistakes, especially teenage mistakes. But, and I don't want to say it like that, but the Plan B pill, you don't have to show an ID to get a Plan B pill. You just need $35 from Walgreens. If you get food stamps, you can get it for free at any of the abortion clinics. Now, the thing about the abortions, that's a lot of it. But also, if you look at I bring in the community. I say the community. I don't think it's purposefully done, but why else would it be? It's almost like they recruiting for it. You know, they trying to hit kids. Like, why else? I mean, I don't even understand, unless it has to be part of population control. Why would the agenda for the LGBTQ be so big? Because it's sexuality. And sexuality is a choice. But why is it something? It's nothing saying be straight. It's nothing saying be a great father. It's nothing saying be a great mother. But it's definitely something saying being
Be a piece of shit.
that. And you know, let's celebrate with pride. Let me give y'all a whole month. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
outside the gay agenda, I'm saying there are advertisements for everything. You just basically said that you see no good advertisements for good, but there are advertisements for everything that's bad. Be a gangster, be a goon, be a man, a demon, be a
And
piece of shit.
here's the thing: it was a time when advertisements like that would just be in poor communities. But these are the new attitudes that are everywhere now. I'll give you an example. On record, Ronald Reagan might have easily been the worst president, but no one would have said out of a Christian mouth that I want him dead. Not a Christian. I hear more Christians, I've heard pastors say things that I never would have heard. It's just different. Negativity, but even when you circle that negativity, a lot of it is it's almost about saying this is the time where we're going to basically disregard the human life. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of population control. When Charlie Kirk got shot, I never seen so many black people not know a person, but at the same time celebrate a death.
I heard you. I heard he was. I heard he was this. So what then?
You know what I mean? And it's just I'm just not used to this with my people. And I'm talking about American people as a whole, where we look at death like it's nothing. And when I look at it and I sit back and think about how population control is set up, if I have you thinking you nothing, when you gone, people treating it like it's nothing, what happens? Nobody trying to stop some of this stuff going on. Think about it. Think about what they're doing to our foods. The extra autoimmune diseases from the shot. The shot almost killed more people than COVID, if not more.
By design. I mean, they getting you to take something. It could have been Russian roulette. It could have been every 8 shots hot. You know what I'm saying? It's actually gonna give you COVID. You don't know. We don't know nothing. Nothing.
Like I'm kind of, and I probably waited too long, but I'm still here. But I'm getting into my health right now, and I'm watching videos how like even in the cities, when I was growing up, the trees had fruit on them. Now they only, I believe it's when they plant a tree, they make sure it's only a male tree. That's why you're not in Missouri, at least, where you can't.
Anywhere.
What you mean? This plant, this is a peach tree. Yeah, but it's not gonna bear fruit.
Because it's
What?
not a female.
That's crazy. But like when we grew up, all the trees had fruit on it. Well, I say me. I'm a little older. I believe Jay Glass, the movement, we're about the same age. Well, our bird look about the same. But but what I'm saying is, it's a lot of stuff changing, and it's a lot of stuff missing. People talking about, I remember when this brand had this association to it, and they already talking about Bill Gates has been head. What makes him want to control food so bad? How do you go from computers to wanting to control fake meat? Why do you want to be part of that? And he a
Because it's a
1%.
thing.
But here go the other thing that bothers me. Everybody talking about the Epstein tapes, right? His name all over it. Nobody asking for his head. Even his wife was like, yeah. His ex-wife, I'm sorry, was like, he's part of it. Let me just make this meat that I want y'all to have and eat this meat.
Who are you talking about?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't trust Bill Gates enough to eat nothing he got?
Well, Bill Gates is one, and I feel like a big player in a lot of this, but I think it's people above him. What you think spaces, and then I'm gonna let y'all know where I'm at.
At first, I was listening to Jay Glass, and he was saying that he think it's pretty. I forget what the word he used, but pretty
Arrogant.
What's the word you used?
Arrogant.
Yeah. I was thinking about it more and more and more. And in one hand, I think about the fact that, just like in the last topic, we were talking about how a lot of Black people make it seem like there is a specific movement to specifically hinder Black people. On the other hand, I think it would be naive to think that at the very least, Black people aren't a part of the conversation. So, and I think if you look up the list of, inventions that were created by Black people, it was some pretty, what's the word? Pretty prolific stuff, pretty significant stuff that Black people created. And I think I was actually a part of a conversation this past Saturday where a guy, he went to Africa, and he was talking about how, because Dr. Umar likes to talk about Africa, right? He likes to talk about Africa. The white people are against us. White people are against us. Dr. Ifa Tunde, Ida Kente, Mashakushe, Roland Trande Johnson. He loves to talk about how Africa was, but he never talks about the fact that in order for Black people to have originated in Africa and the highest concentration of Black people to still be in Africa, but a lower concentration of Black people to be in America, Black people had to contribute to slavery. He never talks about that I've heard. But anyway, I digress at that point.
And he don't want to talk about his school either, but
you stealing my point. You're stealing my points.
That's things that won't open.
You're stealing my point.
I had Black business on a Monday and Dr. Umar school.
But I think it's fair to say that Black people are a part of the conversation just off the strength of the things that we've created in the past. However, I think overall, I think the goal is to lower the birth rate, because this is my theory. I don't think Congress and these super people that are in, these prolific positions, they don't want to admit it, but I think overpopulation is a real thing. I think for just like Jamel was saying, creating fake meat, we can't for the amount of people that need to eat on a regular basis in the world, and the amount of time it takes for the food that we eat to procreate, it just doesn't line up. It just doesn't line up.
So you believe that we are overpopulated?
I believe we're overpopulated, yeah.
So here's my thing.
Real quick, let me say this super quick, please.
Okay, go ahead, Landon. My bad. I've been doing good. Did you notice, y'all?
I did. This is my last point. When I hear Dr. whatever moniker he wants to pick up, Umar talk, there's 4 words that come to mind for me. No, 6. Shut up. Where is the school?
That's 6 words.
6.
Oh, I thought you said
Shut
4.
up. I said it 4 at first, but I changed it. Shut up. Where is the school?
This guy
You
shut
raised
down.
millions of dollars. I think it's a guy in Atlanta called, I think his name is King Randall. He created a school for substantially less than the amount of what Dr. Umar has raised. Every single time he's in an interview, he talks about, oh, I need the floors done. I need the roofing done. I need to paint the walls. You always have an excuse. Shut up talking to me or talking to the people. People only interview you because they know you're going to get clicks. They don't really care about what you have to say. Where is the school? You talk about this for 10 years, 20 years, or somewhere between 10 and 20 years, somewhere in there. Where is the school?
I don't know if y'all knew, but he got a notice on his door about that school. And so that's his latest fight, is saying that they was being racist, trying to keep a black man from opening up his school. But apparently he just didn't pay like fines and permits and stuff. But now for me, first of all, Spaces, let me get this out the way. If you take if we just talk about overpopulation, population control. When I look, and there's a lot of things that just God give you eyes, you see, they try to tell you the water is green when you know it's blue. And I fly over this country or travel across America. There's a lot of places that ain't got people. So if I'm just going off logic and common sense, and I was thinking about that in an airplane one day, flying over, I'm like, there's a lot of places for people to live on this world. So like, how are we overpopulated? And then even if you think about just in America, yeah, we probably congested in certain areas, but there's a lot of land that people don't even habitate in. Yes, I do think that they are secretly meeting in rooms. I don't know why y'all don't believe that. It's only 7 of them. They can fit in one room. They can fit in the living room. We talking about world leaders, the 1% people who making these decisions based off history and historic shit that they got conjured up in their head. So we talking about, I can believe that is not the only mechanism, but I believe that is the most effective mechanism, because now I want to go into eugenics. So they've been talking about this. They've been trying to keep people with the birth rates down and all that. So I did a little research. And so I'm going to go off the time correlation. Then I'm going to go up somewhere else. But so we got the birth drop. The United States birth rate peaked around 2007. It's been in a steady decline ever since, dropping to like the historic lows. So they say about 2023, 2024. Now, the identity trend spiked up in about around 2012. It was like at 3.5% to right now, it's at 9.3%, with most of Gen Z identifying over 20% as some part of that community. So
that was Obama. That was his job.
Yeah, that was his job, to get our buy-in. That's what I believe, to get the black folk buy-in. So then I go up. Hold on, let me find it. So just think about this. If we talking about the whole LGBT thing, you got the silent generation. So they say before 1946, silent generation was negative 2% of people identifying as gay or lesbian or straight or whatever. I mean, gay, lesbian, whatever. You got the baby boomers. It went up to 3%. That was between 1946, 1964. Generation X is us, pretty much, 5%. You got the millennials. It jumped between 1981 to 1996 all the way to 14%. It went from 97 and it only go to 2012. And Generation Z, 23%. I mean, at this rate, the whole world gonna be gay if we going off of this. And I'll put it on the screen if y'all want me to, so y'all can see it. But
that's, I mean, and that's here. But think about this. In China, it was so bad in China where if you weren't having, I believe, a boy, they weren't letting you have the baby. Like you had to get permission.
Yeah, but now it's messing with them. So now they trying to make people have babies because they effed up doing that.
Yeah, but think about how many millions, because China has over 1 billion people just on their continent, whereas our continent is right around 360 million, not even close to the size. 336.
330. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got India and China leading as far as people per continent, but it's crazy. It's crazy numbers in some of these countries.
So look at this. So listen to this. And for me, I think this is pretty much, people were really tripping off the LGBT. Okay, and a lot of the LGB, I think they need to disconnect their train because they were upset with the TQs and all of them too. So they messed up their movement. They said all we want to do is get married. We was fine. Wasn't nobody tripping off us no more. The transgender thing came. So I was looking at this. So you got seniors 65 plus, that's like 0.2%. Adults 35 to 64, 0.4%. But then you get to our babies where they've been pushing this stuff. 18 to 24, 2.7%, and 13 to 17, 3.3% identifying thinking that they are in the wrong body. And that is not them thinking that. That is a specific push. I am not going to not think that. I mean, let me show y'all something right quick. Because we was talking about teachers and everything earlier. Like, if I swear to God, I wish I could homeschool my kids. I'll pay somebody to teach them math, like, because it's ridiculous. But I'm gonna go here because I want to show. I wasn't gonna show this. But I absolutely believe, and it ain't just the LGBT. It's the feminist movement. It's the push for abortion. I feel like it's all of that.
But it's how it's done. Think about it. They not just saying get an abortion. They saying it's my body, my choice. They giving you labels. That's why I'm saying, like, as a salesperson, they giving you a slogan for everything.
Yeah, try to make it
get an abortion. They just said my body, my choice.
Now look at this.
They're not saying it's okay to be transgender. They say you identify as them or they, which is weird because when you look up them or they, it comes up as
plural,
demonic, because that's what the devil called itself.
Yeah. Well, I am Legion.
Because them or they is connected to Legion.
Right. So look at this. These are our teachers.
We can't see. Oh no, sorry.
I can't play that music. I would have an absolute fit if I went to the damn school and this was going on. Look at them, got your kids. How I know they ain't doing that to my kids?
Well, they can't do it in Missouri.
Oh, when I was subbing, they got rainbows and all type of stuff up in their rooms. Look at this. Drag queen story time.
I go back. And here's the thing. I'm
what
not.
That say?
22% of K through 12 students have a diagnosed mental disorder.
But we don't know the context.
42% of high school students feel
persistently sad or hopeless.
Hopeless. Oh shoot, my bad.
You praying on the week.
Yeah. They had to get the daddies out first, though, with the feminism. I'm telling y'all. You've been quiet for a minute, Jake Glass. What
Yeah,
y'all
because
on?
I so like I was about like the Hollywood aspect of it is what actually makes more sense to me when it comes to the LGBTQ community, right? Because it's a trend. It became a social media trend, and that was the biggest push. And that's the issue, is that it was a trend that started from entertainment, and the inability of these generations to dissect themselves from social media and knowing that it's not real versus them actually saying, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed. Again, there was a study that just looked at this. That's where the biggest push came from. It was from social media and parents not parenting their children.